Developing right now on Morning News Now, a deepening divide over the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Today, formal charges set to be filed against the man accused of killing Kirk with a single shot at a Utah university last week. Now, Republicans pointing the finger at the far left for his death.
Have to make sure that the killer is brought to justice, and importantly, we have to talk about this incredibly destructive movement of left-wing extremism that has grown up over the last few years, and I believe is part of the reason why Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet.
We'll have more on the investigation and the increasing political polarization. Breaking this morning, a major escalation in the Middle East. Israel launching its deadly ground offensive in Gaza City just as a UN commission declares Israel has committed genocide on Palestinians in Gaza. Meanwhile, President Trump announcing a second U.S. strike targeting an alleged drug cartel boat from Venezuela. We'll bring you the latest. Also, TikTok. White House officials say they have a, quote, framework for a TikTok deal with China just days before a deadline that would ban the app in the U.S. What we know and how it could affect what you see when you scroll. And event sesh refresh, why experts say you may want to rethink complaining to your friends. We'll talk about the benefits of getting things off your chest, but also when it could become toxic. Fine line there.
There's exactly. We had a rule when I worked with photographers in journalism that a third of the time you were allowed to complain, and then you had to move along and only talk about positive things. So we'll see if
That's
our
a nice rule.
agrees with that.
And our last headline, Joe's back.
Good to have you. Good to see you guys. Good morning. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sliders. We're going to begin this Tuesday morning with a pivotal day ahead in the ongoing investigation into the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
The suspect in the case is set to be formally charged today in connection with Kirk's murder. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was arrested last Friday on a variety of charges, including suspicion of aggravated murder. That could trigger the death penalty if he's convicted. It was nearly a week ago when police say Robinson shot and killed Kirk, who was speaking at a rally at Utah Valley University. Vigils continue to be held across the country remembering Kirk, all while the finger-pointing over political violence dominates the media. NBC's Bofta Yimam joins us now from Washington with the very latest. Bofta, good morning.
Good morning, Joe and Savannah. Formal charges, as you mentioned, expected to be filed within hours against the suspect, who police say was also linked to evidence found at the scene. And according to new reporting by the Washington Post, the suspect appeared to confess in an online chat before Kirk's death. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson is expected to face several charges, including aggravated murder in connection with the attack on conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. According to the Washington Post, Robinson appears to have confessed in an online chat not long before turning himself in, writing, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." The Post citing two people familiar with the chat and screenshots. Another possible sign that may be part of the evidence, a text message exchange, says FBI Director Kash Patel.
His family has collectively told investigators that he subscribed to left-wing ideology, and he had a text message exchange, he the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
The FBI says the suspect is not cooperating, but points out they found the suspect's DNA on two pieces of evidence. While authorities haven't confirmed a motive, the president blames the left.
Looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left.
The Trump administration's effort to find and punish Americans who criticize Charlie Kirk intensifying, including measures to use the federal government to crack down on what the administration called vast domestic terrorist networks.
We are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks.
Back in Utah, classes resume on campus as the suspect remains on special watch status, meaning closer supervision. Meanwhile, plans for a massive memorial service are underway for this Sunday in Kirk's home state of Arizona. Joe and Savannah, back to you.
Bofta Yimam, thank you.
We want to dig in a little bit more on something that you just heard there in Bofta's story. Several employers have fired people for their comments on Charlie Kirk's assassination, while the government is looking at what people inside their own ranks have posted. NBC News senior national security correspondent Courtney Cubie has details.
The Trump administration's effort to find and punish Americans who criticize Charlie Kirk intensifying.
So when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer.
Some employers already firing or suspending people for their posts about Kirk, impacting teachers, commercial pilots, doctors, and even NFL staff. Secretary of State Marco Rubio floated revoking critics' visas.
We should not be giving visas to people who are going to come to the United States and do things like celebrate the murder, the execution, the assassination of a political figure.
Two defense officials telling NBC News Secretary Pete Hegseth has directed his staff to look for posts from service members. Pentagon leaders quickly getting behind that policy. The Marines say they fired a recruiter for an alleged post about Kirk's death reading, "Another racist man popped." Experts say expect those firings to be challenged in court.
Simply saying unpleasant things or unflattering things or things you just disagree with concerning another person who's not a public official, who was never a public official, I think cannot be punished by any part of the government.
On social media, people who've criticized Kirk are being called out. Their names and photos widely circulated, some using the hashtag revolutionaries in the ranks. One post about an Army officer who allegedly shared direct quotes from Kirk has been viewed more than 7 million times.
They're not giving up their First Amendment rights when they swear an oath to serve in the military.
Absolutely not. They may apply somewhat differently, but the principle is the same.
Our thanks to Courtney for that report.
FBI Director Kash Patel is set to face some intense questioning later this morning. He's scheduled to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee for an oversight hearing.
This comes after Patel defended his handling of the investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder. That includes his decision to post on social media that someone was in custody for the shooting. That person was later released during the manhunt for the suspect.
For more on what we can expect at the hearing, we're joined now by NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Melanie Zanona and retired FBI agent Rob D'Amico. Good morning to both of you. So, Mel, let's begin with you. Lawmakers are expected to grill Kash Patel about his tenure so far at the FBI, including the investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder. He was on Fox News yesterday, as we just saw, and he discussed the invitation, spoke in detail about the evidence. But what are some of the tougher questions we expect he's going to face today?
Yeah, no doubt. He is going to face some very intense scrutiny, at least from Democrats, about his leadership at the FBI. Of course, as you mentioned, top of mind is this assassination of Charlie Kirk last week. We expect that he'll be asked for an update, so we could learn some new developments about the case during today's hearing. That's certainly something we're watching out for. But he's also going to face some really tough grilling and some tough questions from Democrats about a lot of his decision-making and potentially from some Republicans as well. He posted on social media the hours after the killing that the suspect was in custody, and then only 90 minutes later he had to provide an update saying the suspect had been released from custody. Also, our colleagues at NBC report that same night, the night of the killing, Kash Patel was dining at some exclusive New York City hotspot restaurant. So just a lot of questions, particularly from his critics who think that Kash Patel is more interested in grandstanding or taking credit than he is in actually doing the work behind the scenes. And of course, he has no law enforcement experience, which is one of the concerns senators had before they confirmed him. But aside from Charlie Kirk, there's a ton of other things that lawmakers are going to want to ask him about. The Epstein case being another one. He was a proponent of pushing to release the files. That obviously has not happened since Trump took office. And then the other thing that he's going to be asked about is the purge of FBI officials. During his confirmation promise, he promised that he was not going to seek political retribution, particularly on agents who worked on the January 6th case. That has not happened. So it's going to be a really packed day of questioning. Guys.
Rob, let's bring you here into the conversation for some background on just how this kind of should have worked. 4 former FBI officials have raised questions to NBC News about Patel's decision-making during this crisis. Mel just laid some of them out. Another reason, traveling to Utah before an arrest was made. They've said that maybe that could have distracted agents on the ground. What do you think, and what will you be looking out for in this hearing today?
Yeah, those are all true. If you worked in the FBI or if you worked in law enforcement, understanding how cases work, understanding when information goes out, understanding what an FBI director is there to do, these all have not fallen into the normal realm. And I think they've hurt the investigation. Anytime someone shows up like that, you have to then take resources to put them on showing them around, showing them the crime scene when you should be doing other things. He was demanding information so that he could post it on X, again, taking agents and investigators away from what they're doing, him yelling at everyone, him posting someone's the ups and downs of the early investigation. You don't put online because there are ups and downs. And if you've been in any investigations, you know that. So putting out that they had the subject without really confirming it, no one confirmed it. They just had someone that they were talking to. And if you've done these, you know that that happens all the time, and you have to release people that aren't connected. So it just shows the inexperience.
I mean, Rob, you say he should be doing other things. Walk us through the role the FBI director has or should have in the first hours of a sensitive and high-profile murder investigation and manhunt like this one.
It's getting the resources of FBI out to the people that are doing it. So he should have been talking to the SAC out there saying, what do you need? Talking to all the field offices around Salt Lake City, make sure they're ready, their evidence response teams if they need investigators, and being ready to fulfill that. Having the national folks, there's always national folks, the lab, the hostage rescue team, all these other folks that are back in D.C. And he did. He pushed some of those out on the planes to get them out there, using those jets to fly the evidence back to lab so they can quickly look at it instead of flying executives around. That's what you should be doing. You have all of that. The FBI has a great command center in the Hoover building that you can run multiple national investigations, and that came after 9/11.
Mel, we know President Trump has defended Patel specifically when it comes to this investigation, but how much support does he have on Capitol Hill between how people feel about how he's handled this, but also things like the Epstein files that you've mentioned?
Well, as of right now, he still enjoys very wide support on Capitol Hill. We talked to a number of Republican senators last night, and we heard nothing but praise and positivity. And perhaps it's because President Donald Trump has come out and said that he still has confidence in Patel. But how he performs in today's hearing, and if he has a rocky performance in today's hearing, that could always influence Trump's opinion. And there are some conservatives on the panel, like Josh Hawley, for example, from Missouri, one of those senators who have been pushing to release the Epstein files. So he could face potentially some tough questioning. As of right now, though, still widely supported on Capitol Hill.
All right, Mel and Rob, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Well, President Trump's federal crackdown on crime in Democrat-led cities will now focus on Memphis, Tennessee.
The president signed an order yesterday creating what's called the Memphis Safe Task Force and authorizing the use of the National Guard there. He said the state's Republican governor, Bill Lee, had requested the White House's help, but Memphis's Democratic mayor told CNN he is not happy.
The effort will include the National Guard as well as the FBI, ATF, DEA, ICE, Homeland Security investigations, and the U.S. Marshals. This team will deploy the full powers of federal law enforcement agencies and enforcement generally to restore public safety and get dangerous career criminals off of our streets.
NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba joins us with the latest. Monica, good morning. So the mayor there, Paul Young, he said he only learned about this decision when it was on TV, that it was confirmed in this announcement from President Trump. What details do we know about this operation, and what about the president's threats to take over public safety in other cities generally?
Yeah, well, Savannah and Joe, it's interesting because the president said he wanted to replicate what he had done here in Washington, D.C. and Memphis. But as you know, in D.C., it's a little bit of a different situation because the president is allowed to take over the police department here. At least he was for 30 days. But that's not the case necessarily in Memphis. He can send in National Guard troops. Again, the governor is requesting that and signing off on that, and he's an ally of the president. But in terms of other federal law enforcement and what can actually be done there, there are some questions about how that will work. But we know from the Attorney General that this operation is set to start next week. And you are right. The president said there are other cities now that he is looking to do the same in. Chicago is one example, a place where he had wanted to go into, he said, a couple of weeks ago, and then he scrapped those plans, but said it's possible he could go there again, though we think he would face some legal opposition there based on the comments of officials, certainly the Illinois governor, who has said he doesn't want the president to come in to Chicago. But he also mentioned cities like Baltimore, St. Louis, and perhaps New Orleans, guys.
Monica, we have another overnight headline this morning. President Trump announced a massive new lawsuit against another major media organization. He says he's suing the New York Times for $15 billion and accused the newspaper of becoming a, quote, virtual mouthpiece for the radical left Democrat Party. What specifically is he accusing the Times of?
Yeah, the president is taking issue with much of their campaign coverage. He is saying specifically and bringing up in this complaint the idea that the New York Times wrote some articles and had an endorsement of Kamala Harris. Also, the president is taking issue with a book that was written by some of these reporters. And we should point out some of them in the past have been NBC and MSNBC analysts. And he says specifically that he believes this has been a years-long effort to undermine him. And that is what the president and his lawyers wrote in this complaint. And of course, this isn't the only outlet that the president has gone after in a similar vein. Remember that both ABC and CBS and Paramount settled lawsuits with the president. And earlier this summer, he did file a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal and News Corp over that reporting surrounding what they allege to be some of those connections and ties to Jeffrey Epstein in that so-called birthday book.
Monica, we also want to ask you news we mentioned a little bit ago. The president revealed these details about a second deadly strike. This is on an alleged drug smuggling vessel in international waters yesterday. Now, he had said the ship was carrying these illegal narcotics from Venezuela to the U.S. He also mentioned in this post you can see on your screen that 3 male terrorists were killed, was how he put it. I mean, it also comes 2 weeks after the U.S. had blown up another military boat off Venezuela. That one killed 11 people. Tell us the information here. What evidence is the White House referencing? How are lawmakers reacting?
Yeah, this is certainly an issue where the legality of strikes like this are being raised by lawmakers and others. But the president is saying that he does believe that these vessels are carrying narcotics or carrying illegal drugs that they want to smuggle into the United States. So he is saying that he will act on those and he may continue to do that. He says that there were some recordings that were captured that indicated that is what they had in their cargo. And the president, when asked about this yesterday, said that when you see the explosion, and he says when you have images of what happened after that, he says you can see some of those giant cargo sacks that he says, again, contain drugs. So he's pointing to that as some of the evidence. But again, there are questions being raised about that. And overall, what the strategy is here of the administration, which continues to apply pressure to the Maduro government in Venezuela. Guys.
All right, Monica Alba, thank you so much.
Let's talk more about the escalating tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela. We want to bring in Jeff Ramsey. He's a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. He studies Venezuela. Jeff, good to have you with us this morning. Let's start with the role that Venezuela plays in international drug trafficking. As we heard there, critics are calling this strike a violation of the law. It begs the question, has there been any proof presented of a connection between Venezuela and the fentanyl that's killing Americans here in the U.S.? And I ask that because often that's something we usually hear linked to drugs that are coming over the border from Mexico.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. And I think that's the key question here. So, in the U.S., fentanyl really is the major drug problem we have. We saw over 50,000 Americans died of opioid overdoses just last year. The reality, at least according to the DEA, is that Venezuela is not a major transit country for fentanyl. Venezuela is a transit country for cocaine, but the DEA estimates that less than 5% of northbound cocaine actually passes through Venezuela on its way to the U.S. The vast majority of drugs bound for the U.S. pass through the Pacific Ocean. So, a lot of us are asking why we don't see greater military presence off the Pacific coasts of Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru if that's the real objective and we want to take this threat seriously.
The U.S. has deployed at least 8 Navy warships, also 10 stealth fighter jets. This is all to the South Caribbean Sea. What impact does a military buildup like that have on Venezuela? Do you think the U.S. is preparing maybe for something larger here, more engagement?
Yeah, Savannah, so, I think ultimately this is about regime change, but the U.S. so far does not want to send boots on the ground. The president's trying to drive cracks between Maduro and his inner circle and the military. The issue is that this strategy has been tried repeatedly over the last 20 years, and so far, it seems like if Maduro's good at anything, it's at keeping the upper ranks fat and happy while repressing the Venezuelan people. There's really no evidence of any military uprisings or massive protests on the horizon. So it seems like Maduro understands that the only way to remove him is if the U.S. decides to actually strike military targets inside Venezuela, which would be incredibly risky.
You mentioned regime change. I mean, last month, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced a $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Maduro. She accused him of using cartels to bring drugs to the U.S. I mean, just how vulnerable is Maduro right now?
So, Maduro is widely unpopular in Venezuela. He's got less than 30% support inside the country, but he still has, by all accounts, the support of the military, the intelligence forces, as well as armed groups in Venezuela, like Colombian guerrillas and pro-government militia groups called colectivos across the country. So, that's why I really think that there's a real risk here that if we see the U.S. decide to take destabilizing actions inside Venezuela, we could actually end up with a Syria-style meltdown in South America, potentially leading to an armed conflict that could see millions more Venezuelans arriving at our doorstep. We already have about 8 million Venezuelans that have fled their homes in recent years due to the crisis in that country.
Jeff Ramsey, we appreciate your expertise. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Well, later this morning, we are expecting to see Luigi Mangione return to a New York courthouse for the first time in months for a hearing on a series of defense motions. So Mangione faces those murder and terrorism charges. This is in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson that happened in Manhattan last December. Well, today, lawyers for Mangione will push to have his state murder charges dismissed. They're doing that by claiming that the state and federal cases against him amount to double jeopardy. The 27-year-old faces the death penalty if convicted in federal court. Today's hearing might also tell us when the state trial will begin here in New York and whether that would come before a federal case. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Let's get a closer look now at what to expect this week with your morning news now weather.
And we have Angie Lastman here back with us in studio. Hi, Angie. Good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning to you. It is a soggy one so far for the Mid-Atlantic. That's going to be kind of the main headline today, and even for parts of this region as we get into the day tomorrow. But here's a look at your satellite and radar. You can see a big push of this moisture coming on shore, a lot of it in the form of thunderstorms. So there is some lightning and thunder that you'll notice here rumbling through this area at this hour, but still some heavy rain to come as the day goes on. So we are preemptively concerned about flooding. So that's why you see these flood watches up across parts of this region. Norfolk, Elizabeth City, Rocky Mount, all included in that. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these get extended into the day tomorrow as well. We've got this area of low pressure kind of sitting just along the coast, and this is going to continue to push in batches of heavy rain across some of these same already soaked areas. On top of that, of course, the flooding, but the gusty winds will also be something that we watch for too. So maybe some down trees possible across that area for today. As we look ahead to tomorrow, still this low pressure hanging out right along the coast. We'll see that steady rain kind of slide up the Jersey coast. And on the backside of this, we'll be dealing with some of those onshore winds and potentially some cooler temperatures. You'll notice those differences here as we get into the day tomorrow. Between now and Wednesday, essentially a couple of inches of rain. And I think at some points we'll see those hourly rainfall rates upwards of 1 inch to 2 inches. So again, the flooding concern will be there specifically across parts of the Mid-Atlantic through at least Wednesday, and then we'll finally get a bit of a break. And then just switching gears quickly, guys, we've got, of course, we're in the peak of hurricane season. It's been a pretty quiet season so far, but we do have a tropical disturbance, 92L, that we're keeping a close eye on for a good chance of development. We're talking 90% chance that we could have a system by the time we get to Thursday. This will be something to watch, maybe down the line potential impacts to Bermuda, but again, we've still got a long way to go with this. It isn't expected to form into a depression or potentially a storm by until we get to Thursday. So something to watch on the horizon as we get to the end of the work week and into the weekend.
I'm finding some wood to knock on after
yeah,
you said it's been a quiet,
too. You and
quiet
me both.
season.
I know, I almost was apprehensive to even talk about how the season's been quiet because, you know. How
we have to acknowledge it.
Yes,
all right.
Exactly.
Thanks, Angie.
Thank you. Got it.
Much more to come here on Morning News. Now, later this hour, Ticketmaster under investigation. Federal officials are reportedly looking into tickets being resold on the platform.
Up first, though, after the break, breaking news out of the Middle East. Israeli ground forces begin their offensive in Gaza as a UN commission accuses Israel of genocide. The latest is next. Stay with us.
Later this morning, President Trump will head to the UK for an unprecedented second state visit. He's expected to meet with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and King Charles. The visit, which includes a stop at Windsor Castle, is expected to trigger a massive security operation. NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez has the details.
The UK preparing to welcome President Trump with full military honors and a protective ring of steel thrown around Windsor Castle, where he'll stay as a guest of King Charles, the first American president to make 2 state visits to Britain. Police say hundreds of armed officers and snipers will be deployed, a striking show of force in a country where police are rarely armed.
Residents of Windsor and visitors to Windsor are used to seeing a fairly high police presence, including armed police. However, for this state visit, they will see an increase in those numbers.
With military helicopters above London and police speedboats patrolling the River Thames.
There's going to be a no-fly zone imposed here. Officers are especially concerned about somebody trying to fly a drone over the castle walls and into the grounds.
That's because Buckingham Palace says President Trump and the First Lady are scheduled to ride with the royals in an open carriage, similar to when the French president visited earlier this year. But for security reasons, the Trump's carriage ride will be kept inside the castle grounds and hidden from the public. An unprecedented presidential visit secured by one of the biggest police operations Britain has ever seen.
And authorities here say they haven't changed their security plan in response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but they are certainly very aware of the heightened political tensions in the United States. And of course, the fact that President Trump survived 2 attempted assassinations last year. So they are leaving nothing to chance. Police say that they've been working closely with the Secret Service for months ahead of this visit. And it's worth noting that Windsor Castle is used to hosting high security events, including the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle here back in 2018. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Raf.
We've got some breaking news out of the Middle East. Following weeks of heavy bombardments, Israeli forces launched this long-promised major ground offensive overnight to capture the famine-stricken Gaza City. Israel's defense minister declared, quote, Gaza is burning, saying the operation was aimed at dismantling Hamas's infrastructure.
But the global pushback and condemnation against Israel is growing this morning. A United Nations commission has become the latest to say that Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinians in Gaza. Its report found Israel committed 4 out of the 5 genocidal acts defined under international law, and it named certain Israeli leaders as responsible for inciting genocide.
The goal of the Israeli government is abundantly clear as we continue to witness the destruction of Palestinians in Gaza. The Commission finds it is genocide. Many Israeli political and military leaders, including President Isaac Herzog, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and then Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, had incited the commission of genocide, and that Israeli authorities have failed to take action against them to punish this incitement.
NBC News International correspondent Matt Bradley joins us from Tel Aviv now. Matt, good morning. So let's start with the ground offensive in Gaza City. Tell us what's unfolded.
Yeah, I mean, guys, as you mentioned, this was much anticipated. This has been building up for the past several months, and just over the past couple of days, we had heard the kind of shaping operations around Gaza City and some of its environs, which are now very much under attack and have been the target, that they were finished and that this operation could start any time now. We just heard earlier this morning that it had begun, and we heard from the Israeli military that ground troops are actually on the ground moving in to Gaza City. The parameters of this are ill-defined, and it's unclear exactly what they're defining as Gaza City. There are several different definitions, but the fact of the matter is, this is an area that is densely populated. It had been largely spared some of the worst attacks by the Israeli military for the past 2 years. It's thought to include, or to house, hundreds of thousands of people, of whom about half have already left, heeding warnings from the Israeli military. And it's also thought to house some, but not all, of those remaining hostages, of whom about 20 are suspected to still be alive. And that's one of the reasons why, according to Israeli officials, military and political, we can expect that this operation will likely take quite a while. It could take several months. Guys?
And Matt, as this ground attack gets underway, we also have this new UN commissioned report we just heard about. It says Israel's committing genocide in Gaza. Tell us more about what the inquiry found and how Israel's responding.
Yes. Well, the issue here, of course, is whether or not there is genocide in Gaza. It's a question that's been asked by so many different people, scholars, advocacy organizations. Now, this independent United Nations commission, which is basically populated by 3 different experts on the topic, say that, as you mentioned, 4 out of the 5 definitions meet the qualification for genocide. And as you laid out in your introduction, one of the main things is the idea of incitement. It's not just about the body count or the casualty count. It's not just about the nature of the war. It's about the intent behind the military actions. And that's one of the reasons why this three-member panel called out those various politicians and said those words have actually added to the notion that Israel is committing genocide.
Matt, also Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Qatar today in the wake of that Israeli strike on Doha. What is the latest there? How's the U.S. responding also to all of this?
Yeah, it was very interesting because, of course, we had heard from President Trump last week that he was against Israel's strike, against Doha and Qatar, against those Hamas leaders, which failed to kill their targets. Now, we had heard from Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, when he visited here in Israel, that there was little daylight between Rubio and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who applauded him and American partnership for the past several years, especially over the past 2 years of war. So it looks as though we are once again back to a position where the White House has kind of gotten in sync with Jerusalem and with the Israeli government. We've seen a lot of public breaks between President Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. But even though there was a major rupture over the weekend after those strikes on Doha, it looks as though Washington is back in Jerusalem's camp.
All right, Matt Bradley, thank you so much. Well, coming up, kids at risk, more parents choosing not to vaccinate their children.
How many kindergartners this year needed vaccines?
We're probably for our school around like 20% need them.
Up next, we're going to take you to one community with some of the lowest vaccination rates to find out what is behind that decline. This is Morning News Now. We're back with a closer look at the growing vaccine divide. A 6-month-long NBC News data investigation reveals decades of immunization progress is backsliding. That's leaving communities, schools, and children at risk. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Goss takes us to St. Louis, where low vaccination rates reveal the challenges that communities all across the country now face.
To go to Premier Charter School in St. Louis, students have to be up to date on their vaccines.
And go.
School nurse Virginia Wilson makes sure they are.
Right. So it's a big chunk of your job in the beginning of the school year.
It is my entire job at the beginning of the school year.
And she says it's getting harder.
How many kindergartners this year needed vaccines?
We're probably for our school around like 20% need them.
NBC News medical unit and researchers at Stanford University crunched school immunization data from every state. In St. Louis City, from the 2010 school year to 2024, the number of kindergartners fully vaccinated against measles has dropped from nearly 90% to 74%.
We're just in a waiting phase before measles just comes and rocks the state of Missouri.
The vaccination rate is well below herd immunity and 3 points lower than Gaines County, Texas, the epicenter of a measles outbreak earlier this year.
I'm surprised and shocked, and that's scary.
Emily and Ryan Pratt's 9-year-old daughter Lucy has a potentially life-threatening autoimmune disease. Every month she gets an infusion to slow it down, and she takes daily medications that suppress her immune system, all the while going to 4th grade in a St. Louis public school.
She's doing normal elementary school kid things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's terrifying to have to choose and know that there's going to be risk no matter what we choose. One child or adult could cause an outbreak that she potentially would have life-threatening illnesses or complications from.
The vaccination rates in St. Louis City are especially low, but in a 6-month analysis of counties nationwide, NBC News discovered that since 2019, 77% of American counties have seen vaccination rates decline. In low-income areas, access to vaccines is a challenge, and that is combining with growing hesitancy.
It is playing Russian roulette with your babies.
Often spread by vaccine skeptics on social media.
I wholeheartedly believe in not vaccinating.
While in the federal government, U.S. Health Secretary RFK Jr. has publicly questioned the safety and efficacy of vaccines. He also recently dismissed an entire panel of vaccine experts and ousted the CDC director. In Missouri, the law mandates children be immunized to attend school unless they have a health or religious exemption. The St. Louis School District declined our request for an interview, but the district's head nurse told NBC News that schools are not strictly enforcing vaccination rules. They want kids to stay in the classroom instead. She tells us that last year there was a school where nearly 200 students were attending who were not fully vaccinated. In a statement, the school district told us it is actively working to address the issue, and their priority is the health and well-being of their students, while adding the real-world application of the vaccination policy can be challenging. The Pratt family would like to see more done.
There needs to be a concerted effort to say we need the vaccination rate to increase, and this is how we're going to do it.
Sounds like what you're looking for is a plan.
It would be nice to have a plan, yes.
And acknowledgement of the problem. I think to get a plan, we have to acknowledge there's a problem.
Stephanie Gosk, thank you so much. And if you want to see the results for yourself, this tool is now on our website, nbcnews.com/vaccine divide.
Well, now let's go to our weekly mental health check-in. First, we're going to dive into what's called gray divorce. It's the growing trend where more older Americans are ending their marriages.
Plus, we're looking at what to do when constant complaining starts to strain your friendships.
Joining us now for more on these mental health headlines, our friend, licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. George James. Dr. James, truly always wonderful to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's start with what I just said, gray divorce. So this is the divorce of long-term married couples over the age of 50. Actually, the stats show that over a third of people getting divorced now are 50 and older, compared to less than 1 in 10 that was back in 1990. And researchers are specifically looking now at how this can have this big impact on adult children. Tell us about that.
Yeah, good morning, Savannah. Yes, as you mentioned, gray divorce is what happens for couples 50 and over, and it's about 36%. And what we've noticed is that it impacts everyone, not only the couple that gets divorced, but their adult children. Sometimes adult children see this as the rock of their life kind of falling underneath them. And it also impacts sometimes men more than women, because the social connection and also connection to their children also dissipate. So it's pretty impactful, and it's something to think about. And it's really about maintaining connections even after divorce.
Connection so challenging, especially when you get into your older years and you sort of fade away from your friendships when you were younger. So that's an important topic there. Speaking of connecting, here's maybe a negative way of connecting with people. We're talking about complaining. Most of us probably have a friend who always wants to complain to us about something. So how do you tell the difference between something that's sort of healthy venting and something that's a little more toxic? And if you have a friend like that, is there anything you can do to maybe give yourself a break?
Yeah, right, Joe. Like, we all have a friend that might complain too much. And if you don't have that friend, that probably means it's you. And so some of this is the thing about how do we relate to other people? And if you have a friend like that, maybe if you think about what that friend might be going through, see if you can have a direct conversation. Maybe kind of suggest that this is not the way that you want to interact. Maybe go to something that might help you both de-stress. But overall, you want to be able to be clear about what's going on, be direct, maybe even say, maybe this is a time for you to go get some support professionally, so that you don't have to deal with some of these things. But most of all, set clear boundaries so that you don't have to keep hearing the negativity from your friend.
You could complain to your friend about their complaining.
There you go.
I think one of the things on that graphic just said, be boring, to get somebody to stop complaining to you. Like, I'm not interested in hearing. Dr. James, lastly, this is interesting. So swearing, like saying bad words, I think maybe people feel like it used to be a little bit like more taboo, or like you'd feel like you shouldn't, or it was inappropriate. But this New York Times article we were just showing the headline there, it says nowadays it feels like maybe it's gotten a lot more common. Do you think it has? Why do you think this is happening? And is there anything like good here, even though they're bad words?
So I think there's probably two things. One, I think as a society, we've become more comfortable, more open with swearing and cursing. It's just something that we do a little bit more frequently. And we see that in all different things, from media to just everyday life. I think the other part is that maybe it is a reflection of our stress and being overwhelmed, and this is what people do. I think for one set of group of folks, it is just a release. And if that's what you do and you're comfortable with that, that's fine. I think for another set, if it feels like it's not congruent to who you are, maybe you need to work on maybe minimizing how much you're cursing. But overall, I think it's just a shift and might be something that is a reflection of where we are right now.
All right, Dr. George James, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Coming up, deal or no deal, TikTok on the clock again to find an American buyer.
Well, now the White House says a framework of an agreement has been created just days before the latest deadline. We'll give you the updates and what it means for you next on Morning News Now.
We are back now with some new developments on the fate of the popular social media app TikTok. The app's Chinese owner, ByteDance, was nearing that September 17th deadline to divest TikTok's U.S. business or face a possible ban. But yesterday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the framework for a deal had been reached with China. Savannah has been following this story intently for the past couple days. So, Savannah, first, a little background here. Remind us why TikTok is facing this possible ban here in the U.S.
Yeah, it feels like I've been covering TikTok for years, doesn't it, Joe? The drama has been going on for so long. So that's a great question, Joe. It all goes back to national security. One of the things that's super interesting about this, just to remind viewers, is it was actually a first-term President Trump who brought this up as an issue at all. He was one of the first elected people to say, I think that there is a national security concern when it comes to China. He had his then Treasury Secretary kind of looking at this, trying to see who could potentially buy TikTok that was here in America. Nothing came of that. And since then, it's actually become, this campaign promise that President Trump has been trying to fulfill to, quote, save TikTok. The national security concern here, Joe, is kind of twofold. The first is Americans' data. Can the Chinese government kind of peek over and look at Americans' data? Because that is something that is legal in China. In fact, companies are compelled to turn over data should the Chinese government ask for it. The second concern, Joe, is could they manipulate the content that's being shown to Americans? Because, of course, there's that all-important algorithm. It's what makes TikTok. It's what makes it so sticky. It's what has made it so popular. But could the Chinese government sort of influence what is being shown to Americans via that algorithm? So that is how we got here. There was bipartisan support that ultimately passed this legislation that was signed by President Biden that said either this company has to be sold away from Chinese ownership or it will be banned here in the U.S.
So I know the details of this deal or this framework are pretty thin right now. Treasury Secretary Bessent speaking again this morning. What do we know at this stage?
Yeah, so, Joe, yesterday, this came out of, it was really actually, I think what was notable, one thing, is that this was the only thing, really, that came out of these trade talks happening in Madrid between the U.S. and China. And yesterday, what we learned is that, specifically, I was interested to hear Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent say that this was a deal between two private companies. And the reason that I say that is because you think kind of in that conversation, the assumption that you make is that one of those companies is ByteDance, right? They are the one with the product to sell, TikTok to sell. And then who's on the other side of that? The fact that he said essentially just one other company has me wondering, is there just one person here who is able to purchase TikTok, or is it still sort of a consortium of buyers here? Just a few moments ago on CNBC, we did hear from the Treasury Secretary, as you mentioned. He said that this will be highly satisfactory for U.S. business interests. And he also just said that those terms, the commercial terms, basically who is the buyer, the big question everybody's got, won't be known for days or weeks. That is notable because the President Trump and President Xi are supposed to be speaking soon. One, though, Joe, that everybody's kind of talking about, there's a lot of speculation around Oracle and Larry Ellison. Both the Ellison family's personal wealth may make him a little bit more able to, if not buy it outright, take the largest stake in it. And also Oracle is already that partner, Joe, to TikTok, hosting all that U.S. data. But President Trump and President Xi of China will be speaking Friday to hopefully hammer out those details.
And Ellison's son now owns Paramount as well, so a big media empire.
No
there.
kidding, and potentially a bid for another big company.
All right, more to come, Savannah. Thank you. Let's stick with business headlines here. Live Nation's Ticketmaster reportedly taking center stage once again this morning with a new probe from the Federal Trade Commission.
Now joins us with that and more for your Money Minute. Hey, Silvana.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Joe. Good morning. Yes, so the Federal Trade Commission is probing whether Ticketmaster is doing enough to prevent bots from illegally reselling tickets on its platform. Now, Bloomberg reports a decision on whether to pursue a case could come within weeks. So the Better Online Ticket Sales, or Bots Act, that was enacted in 2016. It prohibits the use of bots and other methods to bypass purchase limits set by online sellers. Ticketmaster tells Reuters it hasn't violated the Bots Act, and it blocks 200 million bots each day. That's a fivefold increase since 2019. The Trump administration orders Delta Airlines to end its joint venture with Aeromexico, claiming it's anti-competitive. So the Department of Transportation had warned in July it may pursue this action. Delta will be able to keep its 20% stake in Aeromexico, but it says the decision will cause significant harm to U.S. jobs and consumers traveling between the two countries. And it says the joint venture allows for common pricing and revenue sharing. Delta says flights on both airlines and their frequent flyer programs will continue to operate as normal. And OpenAI hires the former chief financial officer at Elon Musk's startup xAI. So at xAI, Mike Liberatore helped arrange $10 billion in financing and approved major plans to expand data centers before leaving the company in July after just 3 months on the job. OpenAI tells NBC he starts in his new role today, and this hiring is the latest move in the escalating feud between Musk and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. They co-founded OpenAI in 2015 as a nonprofit, but had a public falling out in recent years, guys.
All right, Silvana, thank you so much. Well, coming up, one star after another talking about the next big blockbuster.
I'll be seeing you very soon. Not if I see you first.
Where'd you channel the intensity that your character brings?
It's already there, girl.
When we come back, we're going to take you behind the scenes with the cast of One Battle After Another, so get your popcorn ready. This is Morning News Now. Finally, this hour, we're going to take you behind the scenes of the new film, One Battle After Another. It doesn't come out for another week and a half, but the film is already making headlines.
NBC News correspondent Kaylee Hartung sat down with some of the film's A-list actors to discuss the movie that is Hollywood buzzing.
There's a genre-busting movie exploding onto the big screen. One Battle After Another already has some of the biggest names in Hollywood buzzing.
To quote Steven Spielberg, what an insane movie. How's that for an endorsement?
It's an odyssey, and it's a spectacle. It's a comedy. It's filled with action, and it's a mirror of the sign of the times of where we are today as a society.
Moviegoers are in for something truly unique, an action film with political commentary. At times, dark and provocative, earning that R rating. Yet it's also laugh-out-loud funny, sometimes when you least expect it.
You can't answer what time is it. I cannot give you the rendezvous point. This is a key tenet of the rebellion.
This is, an original concept in a day and age where we're sort of saturated by remakes and franchises.
But amid the gunfights and car chases, it's a film with heart, thanks in large part to Leonardo DiCaprio. He plays a modern-day paranoid former revolutionary, running from his past and living off the grid to protect his only daughter, played by newcomer Chase Infinity.
I didn't ask for this. That's just how the cards were rolled out for me.
It's not cards. You don't roll cards. It's dice.
Dad, what is wrong with you?
What was it like on set with this all-star ensemble cast?
I mean, it was kind of crazy. It was a lot of pinch me moments every day and trying to absorb everything I could and live in the moment. And just take in everything I could.
Benicio del Toro plays karate instructor Sensei, the quiet straight man to DiCaprio's wacky Bob Ferguson.
Courage, Bob. Courage.
Courage. Yeah.
Thank you.
But when it came to one memorable scene, Del Toro took matters into his own hands.
Were you really driving?
I was really driving, yeah.
Yeah.
I had Leo in the palm of my hand, and I had to protect him, and just make sure he doesn't fall from that car.
Did you feel protected?
He's a great driver, actually. Incredible. We did that loop 50 times. Yeah. What was your line? You could park anything.
Give me an American car. I'll park that boat anywhere.
Tiana Taylor gives a standout performance as the feisty Perfidia Beverly Hills.
The message is clear. I'll be seeing you very soon. Not if I see you first.
Where'd you channel the intensity that your character brings?
It's already there, girl.
I mean, this is true. It's definitely a fire in me. Perfidia is crazy, but I understood Perfidia in survival mode. But I understood not feeling heard at moments and not feeling seen. She's complex, but I think she was in survival mode.
Sean Penn and Regina Hall round out the all-star lineup. The result, something even the cast struggles to describe.
I think you could sum it up in Sensei's line. What does freedom mean? It means no fear. That's the line for
yeah.
me, you know.
But they say the real secret ingredient is writer-director Paul Thomas Anderson, best known for Magnolia and Boogie Nights, working with his biggest budget yet.
The way he made this movie and developed all these characters, you don't really get to be on a dynamic like that very often.
This is a very unique project, and this is like PTA with a big budget. How exciting is that? You know, like, let that man cook, and I say it all the time. Let him cook, because he's chefing. Let him cook, because this is him when he cooking. It's just like, whoa.
In that big budget movie, you know, there's this constant humanity going right through it, with all these emotions coming at you, that it's also part of what he's cooking, you know? Yeah.
Let him cook.
Yeah.
Let Paul cook. I think that's your next piece of merch.
Yeah. Let's cook. Let him cook.
Our thanks to Kaylee Hartung. One Battle After Another hits theaters September 26th. I was on the flight with Kaylee to LA last week. She says it's a great movie.
Yeah, I talked about it the other day, too. I mean, looks fantastic. It's fun when it's like genre bending like that.
Exactly. And so many people are fans of the director. So,
Yeah.
all right, that's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us. The news continues right now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, facing charges. The suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk set to make his first court appearance this morning. Authorities in Utah preparing to bring formal charges against him. We'll bring you the latest on the investigation, including the evidence authorities say they've recovered. That investigation under fresh scrutiny this morning, with FBI Director Kash Patel set to make a highly anticipated appearance before lawmakers. Patel facing criticism for social media posts he shared during the manhunt.
Could I have worded it a little better in the heat of the moment? Sure. But do I regret putting it out? Absolutely not. I was telling the world what the FBI was doing as we were doing, and I'm continuing to do that.
From the Kirk investigation to immigration raids and Jeffrey Epstein, what to expect today when Democrats question Patel. Plus, under attack, overnight Israeli forces launching what Prime Minister Netanyahu is calling a significant operation in Gaza City. Thousands of residents forced to flee the famine-stricken city. Comes as a UN inquiry finds Israel is committing genocide. We're going to bring you the latest. Also this morning, long-term unemployment on the rise. The number of unemployed people outpacing the number of job openings for the first time in years. We'll tell you what this means for the workplace and for the economy. Plus, 100 years of the analog photo booth, how a new generation is enjoying the century-old technology, what you might call the first selfie.
100 years.
100 years since it was invented. I know, it's incredible. There's going to be a museum opening soon in New York that explores that history. We'll take you there coming up in a little bit. Let's begin this hour in Utah. The 22-year-old man accused in the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk is set to make his first appearance in court today.
Yeah, Tyler Robinson is set to be formally charged in connection with Kirk's murder. Police say he fatally shot Kirk during that event last Wednesday at Utah Valley University. Robinson was arrested 2 days later on suspicion of aggravated murder. Officials say they have recovered forensic evidence and online posts linking Robinson to the murder. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky has the latest from Utah.
Yeah, we're here at Utah County Jail where Robinson's been held since Friday, and it's our understanding that authorities say Robinson will appear virtually today, where he will face those formal charges in the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, authorities say that this 22-year-old has been remaining uncooperative, but they are confident today that they have their man.
This morning, with Charlie Kirk's suspected shooter set to be formally charged, lawmakers honoring the conservative activist overnight.
This has been a very difficult week in America.
While FBI Director Kash Patel saying investigators are learning more about the suspect's messages before the shooting.
Text message exchange where the suspect specifically stated that he had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do that. And when he was asked why, he said some hatred cannot be negotiated with.
The Washington Post reports citing two people familiar and a screenshot. Robinson appeared to confess in an online group chat before turning himself in, writing, "It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." Officials say several pieces of evidence recovered by authorities contained Robinson's DNA, including a towel wrapped around the suspected murder weapon and a screwdriver found on the rooftop where the fatal shot was fired. Utah investigators have not said what they believe was Robinson's motive, but President Trump blaming both the internet and the left.
Looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left.
Vice President J.D. Vance, who stepped in to host Kirk's podcast, saying people who celebrate his friend's death should be fired from their jobs.
Call them out. And hell, call their employer.
Also on the podcast, Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, vowing to use the federal government to respond to what he calls left-wing organizations.
It is a vast domestic terror movement. And with God as my witness, we are going to use every resource we have to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks.
Some Democrats pushing back.
It looks as if President Trump and his allies are gearing up to potentially exploit this tragedy. I think we have to be ready for something very, very dark coming on the horizon.
And this morning, as the investigation deepens, the FBI director says that investigators are pouring through electronic devices that have been seized from Robinson's residence. In the meantime, that 22-year-old will remain inside a special housing unit here at the jail, where authorities say he remains under close supervision. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Morgan, thank you.
The investigation into Kirk's murder is one of the issues expected to come up today when FBI Director Kash Patel testifies before the Senate Judiciary Committee. He is expected to face some pretty tough questioning from lawmakers after defending his handling of that investigation and the information he was sharing with the public. Patel is also expected to be grilled about his overall tenure so far at the FBI. NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us now with more on what we can expect. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning. And there's no doubt that senators are going to want to learn more about the Kirk assassination investigation, but they also want to question Patel on a wide range of issues connected to the FBI, including staff shakeups and the Epstein controversy. This morning, FBI Director Kash Patel on the offensive.
My mission to the American public, as I said in my confirmation hearing, I am going to work with you to make this organization as transparent as possible.
Patel flooding conservative media ahead of a highly anticipated hearing on Capitol Hill, where he will be pressed on the investigation into the Charlie Kirk assassination. The director admitting his social media post revealing a suspect was in custody before the actual arrest was made wasn't perfect.
Could I have worded it a little better in the heat of the moment? Sure. But do I regret putting it out? Absolutely not.
There are also questions about the length of time it took to find the alleged killer and why it took hours to publicly release photos of the suspect.
The photos were produced. They just weren't produced in a timely fashion that I felt was appropriate for an investigation of this magnitude. So I came in and I accelerated that process.
Democrats want to know more.
I think there were some mishandled early steps.
Despite the criticism, President Trump saying Patel has done a great job. The Kirk assassination, one of just many major issues confronting the FBI. The agency has slashed at least a dozen career agents. Patel is now the subject of a lawsuit by ex-staffers who claim their firings were politically motivated.
These patriots swore an oath to defend the Constitution and served Republican and Democratic presidents alike. They were shown the door for one reason: political retribution.
And Patel has faced heat from both the right and left for his handling of the Epstein controversy. Democrats prepared to make sure he explains how he plans to make that investigation more transparent. Meanwhile, the House Oversight Committee continues its investigation into the Epstein controversy. They received a new batch of documents from the late convicted sex offender's estate yesterday, but they're still waiting on more information from the Department of Justice. Joe.
All right, Ryan, thank you.
Well, in economic news, the Federal Reserve is kicking off a two-day meeting today to decide whether to cut interest rates.
The central bank is widely expected to cut rates for the first time this year following months of pressure to do so from President Trump.
NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans is here to walk us through this. Christine, good morning. First, tell us just why we have confidence that we're going to see a rate cut. What's got us to this point?
It's been months of the Fed just on hold here because interest rates were uncomfortably high for a lot of families. And frankly, now with the unemployment rate at 4.3% and signs of a weakening job market, the Fed is shifting its concern away from inflation, we think, to supporting the job market and likely to cut interest rates just a little bit at this meeting, we think.
So I think I've decided that this issue is why I learned fractions as a child. Half point, quarter point.
Yep.
How much do we expect them to cut rates by? And do we anticipate this is something we will see slowly month by month by month? Or are they going to take it a little bit at a time.
So they go in for the meeting today, and then tomorrow they'll vote on whether to cut interest rates. And I think the conventional wisdom is that there'll be a quarter-point rate cut, maybe a half, but probably a quarter. And will they keep going? That's what we'll be listening to the press conference when the Fed chief, Jay Powell, will talk to reporters tomorrow. We'll be in the room and really want to get a sense of, will there be more rate cuts ahead? What is the Fed watching? How concerned are they about the job market? And will that mean more rate cuts ahead? You've already seen mortgage rates starting to drift lower in anticipation of a rate cut. But clearly, if you had 2 or 3 of these little trims to the rate, people would start to feel it.
Tell us more about what it is going to mean for people at home. You mentioned, obviously, people have mortgages on the brain for sure, but also just credit card bills, everything else, and how kind of quickly you feel any relief.
So the Fed is this all-powerful institution that no one really has ever heard about because they move this rate that so many things are that depend on their benchmark interest rate target. So mortgage rates have already been drifting lower, as I said, about 6.25% for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. So there are folks who bought in the 7s and maybe even almost 8%, bought a house and got a mortgage at that rate, who now for the first time are looking at a moment when they could refinance. But you've got credit card interest rates above 20%. I have to reiterate, credit card debt in this high interest rate environment is so dangerous. We're 100 days to Christmas. Everybody, please be careful about what you're putting on the plastic. But also, you've got student loan rates that are set by, that are pegged to these numbers. Now, student loan interest rates are fixed. They don't go down. But if you start to see some rate cuts, next year's student loan rates will be lower if you have to borrow more money.
Help people understand, because I think they might see, okay, the job market's slowing down and people aren't buying houses right now. So, of course, you want to cut interest rates. But what is the worry that comes with doing that too quickly?
The worry about doing it too quickly is that you start to stoke a red-hot economy and it spikes up that inflation again. And inflation is very difficult to get under control, as we know. Remember in 2022 when it went all the way up to 9%, above 9%? Inflation can be very difficult to control when it gets out of control. The Fed very focused on a 2% inflation target, and we're at 2.9% for the inflation rate. So the Fed is in a very unenviable position where it has to support the job market, right, which cut interest rates to boost the job market. But cutting interest rates can inflame inflation, and it doesn't want to do that either. So it's really walking a very, very fine line here.
Absolutely. Christine Roman, thank you so much.
Good morning.
Got some breaking news to bring you out of the Middle East. Overnight, Israel launched its major ground offensive to capture famine-hit Gaza City. That's despite strong domestic and international opposition. The attack comes after a new report by a UN commission found Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley joins us now from Tel Aviv. Matt, good morning.
Good morning. And this has been months in the making, but now it's finally starting that ground incursion into Gaza City. And now we're seeing hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fleeing ahead of it. This morning, Israel again escalating its war in Gaza, beginning its much-anticipated ground offensive into Gaza City. Explosions lighting up the skyline overnight. Gaza is burning. The IDF is striking with an iron fist, said Israel's defense minister. The mission, the Israeli government says, is to root out Hamas's main stronghold. But it's been controversial, with some inside the military and intelligence services advising against it, warning that the offensive could endanger Israeli hostages, stretch Israel's military, and incite more criticism of Israel's treatment of Palestinian civilians, according to Israeli media reports. The offensive coming as the U.S. Secretary of State left the country, where he said the White House wants a diplomatic solution.
At some point, Hamas has to be defanged, and we hope it can happen through negotiation. But I think time, unfortunately, is running out.
Israel's new incursion raising fresh fears over the humanitarian crisis, where health officials in Hamas-run Gaza say nearly 65,000 Palestinians have been killed. In a new report today, an independent UN commission said Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Israel's foreign ministry called the report distorted and false. Now, Israel's military again telling Palestinians to evacuate the area ahead of ground movements, but many remain, along with Israeli hostages, of whom 20 are thought to remain alive. Last night, hostages' family members protested against the offensive outside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence. This morning, Anat Angrest, whose son Matan remains captive, was still protesting, demanding her son be freed.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, instead of saving our children, is bombing them. He doesn't want negotiation.
Now Israel's military is saying that about half of the Palestinians still in Gaza City have already fled, but a military official cautioned that about 350,000 are thought to remain in that area. Guys?
All right, Matt, thank you.
Well, here in New York today, Luigi Mangione is expected to make his first court appearance in months as his legal team attempts to get his murder charges thrown away. Mangione is facing both state and federal charges for the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. That was last year. That was as the executive walked to a hotel for a conference. It was right here in Midtown Manhattan. NBC News senior national correspondent Stephanie Gosk has the latest from outside the courtroom.
This is a procedural hearing in the state case today. Luigi Mangione has already pleaded not guilty to 11 state charges, including murder in the furtherance of terrorism. But although this hearing may be brief, the case and the defendant tend to draw a crowd. Luigi Mangione back in state court this morning. Prosecutors allege he shot and killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December in Midtown Manhattan. Despite being accused of cold-blooded murder, Mangione has amassed an online following. We, the people, want Luigi free! Including supporters who donated more than $1.2 million for a legal fund. And earlier this month, fashion giant Shein used an ad that appeared to be an AI-generated photo of Mangione, the company taking it down, saying the image was provided by a third-party vendor, and it is investigating. The brazen killing of Thompson, a father of two from Minnesota, shocked the country and led to a days-long manhunt, Mangione eluding the police until he was apprehended at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. His defense attorney lashed out at New York City officials following his arrest.
They are literally treating him like he is like some sort of political fodder, like some sort of spectacle.
Now he faces both a state and federal trial. Attorney General Pam Bondi directed federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty. But even so, law enforcement experts worry that Mangione's case may have inspired other violent acts, including the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk. Do you think law enforcement is looking seriously right now at the possibility of copycats?
Yes.
Crime author John Monahan is a former NYPD captain.
People are going to be encouraged by these actions and by the notoriety and support that these men are receiving. It could very well be the case. It's very hard to prevent.
Among the topics being discussed today will be a trial date. There still is no trial date set for either the state case or the federal case, but a judge ruled that in preparation for both trials, Luigi Mangione can have a laptop. He's allowed a laptop between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., 7 days a week. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thank you. We have NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris here on set for more on what to expect in that New York courthouse. Hey, Misty, good morning. Great to have you with us. So, first of all, just explain this, that the fact that Mangione faces both a state and federal trial and what we could hear out of today's hearing.
So he faces charges on the state level and the federal level, as you said, and there's something called dual sovereignty, meaning if there's a legal theory that supports it, a defendant can actually face charges in a state court and a federal court, even if it's for the same act. So this is all relating to the murder of Brian Thompson. The legal theories, though, are different. The federal court case is what's called stalking murder, crossing state lines with the intent to kill. The New York State charges premeditated murder with what's called a terrorism enhancement, that his intent was to influence a civilian population or a government policy. Highest level in New York, that's first-degree murder. So one thing his legal team is seeking to do is have the state court case tossed out, defer to the federal government, and if not that, get that terrorism enhancement, that first-degree murder charge dismissed.
We know, Mangione wants at least the federal case to go first. Does the order matter here? And could we actually see a trial date set today?
So the defense has a few arguments as to why the federal case goes first, one of which is because the federal case at this point has the death penalty as a possible outcome, so it's more severe. They also say that if the state court goes first and he's facing the most severe penalty under the law, it could actually prejudice his federal trial, because the legal strategy and the defense they may raise in the state court could impact that federal case. So those are the issues. We may see a trial date today, or it may just be that we get more of a sense of timeline. There are other incredibly consequential issues before the court, including evidentiary issues. Those will likely result in hearings, separate hearings that the court will address. So we're going to get a sense of when we could see this case actually go to trial.
Misty, following the Charlie Kirk shooting last week, there's been a lot of discussion about how in both of these instances, these messages were etched on the ammunition information used? Now, we are not connecting the two at all. We don't know anything here, but just is there a possibility that the idea that something that someone does that results in the death, like we've seen, could inspire someone else, allegedly, that he had caused?
So this is an interesting point and something the federal government has raised in support of their petition to seek the death penalty, which Mangione will be responding to by the end of the week. They say that his actions actually did influence others and that he continues to influence others by his high profile on the internet, seeking defense funds, and by being in the public eye, that he's actually seeking to influence others to do similar acts. So will the DOJ supplement what they've already put before the court? We'll see.
All right, Misty, thank you so much.
It is a mild morning here in New York as we take a live look outside our studios for your morning news now weather.
Yeah, there you go. It's been pretty nice out here still. Angie Lastman is in studio with us with the latest. Hi, Angie. Good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning to you. Unfortunately, not so nice if you live in the Mid-Atlantic this morning, where we're dealing with some soggy conditions already. And this is just the beginning of some of us dealing with rain throughout the day. So notice we do have a good batch of moisture kind of sitting especially close to the coast, anywhere from Cape Hatteras up through Norfolk. You're dealing with heavy rain. We've seen some thunderstorms this morning, so lightning is associated with this. This is going to be something that we kind of see last again throughout the rest of our day, and that stretches all the way up to Atlantic City. The area that we're most concerned right now for flooding does include some of these same pockets where you saw that heavy rain. But Norfolk now under this flash flood warning. That's going to last here for a little while longer. Elizabeth City stretching out to Rocky Mount and out to Cape Hatteras included in that flood watch. And again, that's going to be something we see likely last throughout the day as we get ready for more of these batches of heavy rain to kind of spin on in around that circulation of this area of low pressure. This is what's kind of causing the unsettled weather over the next day and really continuing into tomorrow, too. Most concerned about the flooding and, of course, the heavy rain interrupting people's outdoor plans. But we've also got those gusty winds on tap for folks across this region here as we get through the day today. Tomorrow, we see this scoot a little closer up the coast, but we're dealing with some of those still pockets of steady rain up the Jersey coast, and those onshore winds and resulting cooler temperatures will also be something you'll deal with. Now, the flash flood risk through today is going to be, again, the places that you already see some of those warnings in effect. Norfolk stretching down to Kill Devil Hills, but really stretching out to Cape Hatteras, including Richmond as well, where we see those pockets of pretty heavy rain, at least for the next couple of hours, I'd say through 10 a.m. And then by the time we get into tomorrow, we'll add on a couple of pockets of additional rainfall. I think by the time we get through your Wednesday, maybe 1 inch to 3 inches of rain will be possible across that region. Switching gears, talking tropics, we've got a tropical disturbance that remains fairly unorganized, but it really is likely that it'll get its act together by Thursday. We've got a chance to see our next system, maybe a tropical storm, tropical depression by the end of the week, and we'll continue to watch that into the weekend and see how it potentially can impact maybe Bermuda or places down the line. But we've got a long way to go until we have details on that. And otherwise, guys, we're watching Tropical Storm Maria. This is going to move up the coast of Baja California, not impacting anyone directly, but we could see some additional rainfall for folks across Southern California here in the next day or so.
All right, Angie Lastman, thank you so much. There's much more to come here on Morning News Now later this hour. Get this, Christmas is 100 days away. We're going to tell you, oh my gosh, this music is so fun, how retailers are preparing to roll out the holiday cheer.
Up first, second state visit, what to expect from President Trump's historic trip to the UK. That's next. We are back with some breaking news. Legendary actor Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. His reps say he passed away this morning at his home in Utah. Many people remember Redford as a longtime screen heartthrob before becoming an Oscar-winning director and the founder of the Sundance Film Festival. This morning, we take a look back at his life and career.
Introducing Robert Redford.
From the start,
Okay, Pop, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry.
he was captivating.
You're very nearly perfect.
It's a rotten thing to say. For more than half a century, Robert Redford mesmerized us with some of Hollywood's most unforgettable characters. Born in 1936, Charles Robert Redford, a rebellious teen after his mother's death, lost a baseball scholarship and was kicked out of college. So he tried acting. Give me your hand. Handsome and sexy, he quickly landed roles on television and stage, soon earning top billing in Barefoot in the Park, first the theatrical version, later on film.
How long will you be staying with us, Mr. Bratter?
6 days.
and nights, we were walking down a corridor, and I noticed that all the secretaries, oh my God, there he goes. And I just thought to myself, this man is going to become a huge star.
Jane Fonda was right. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Redford set the bar for leading men. But early in his career, he worried about being typecast as just a pretty face.
Early on, when there was overreaction to something I'd done, I got really nervous about what my life would be if I played into that.
So he was, admittedly, picky.
What's the matter with you?
Then along came a Western with Paul Newman, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I can't swim!
I remember when I saw the film, I thought, this is a dud. Well, because there was a song in the middle of it.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
That blockbuster catapulted Redford to superstardom. This one made him an icon. After teaming up with Newman a second time for what would be another fan favorite, Redford wanted to try something new.
Give her the goddamn camera!
Stepping behind the camera in 1980 and winning his first Oscar for Ordinary People, the first of many films he directed. Redford's legacy reaches far beyond Hollywood.
Bush's policies have been a disaster.
He was an outspoken environmentalist and a pioneer. As founder of the Sundance Film Festival, Redford provided a stage for independent filmmakers. A legendary career from a man who didn't believe in looking back.
Don't look at your career as anything that's gained momentum over time. Just keep going forward and focus on the future.
And who spent a lifetime giving us all something to remember. And Redford is survived by his wife and 2 children from a previous marriage. First of all, thank goodness baseball didn't work out for him. But it is incredible, the breadth of work, the iconic movies he was a part of, and that he did it both in front of the camera and then in the later half of his career behind the camera.
Yeah, and what he's done for film. I mean, with Sundance and everything. But gosh, what a catalog.
Exactly.
When the movie posters were just going by, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Exactly. What a legacy.
All right. What a great look back. Thank you, Joe. Well, President Trump is soon heading back to the UK for an unprecedented second state visit. The president is expected to meet King Charles and other members of the royal family in a trip that is set to trigger a major security operation. NBC News International correspondent Raf Sanchez is at Windsor Castle for us. Hi, Raf. Good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. Yeah, President Trump about to take off for his second state visit to the UK as a guest of the royal family. His last visit was in 2019. The focus then was very much on Buckingham Palace in London. This time, it'll be Windsor Castle that'll be the center of the action. 6 years after his last state visit to Britain, hosted by the late Queen Elizabeth, President Trump is set to make history today.
So can I present a letter from the King to you?
As the first U.S. president honored with 2 state visits to the UK. This time, the president and first lady will be hosted by King Charles and Queen Camilla at Windsor Castle. But the young royals, Prince William and Princess Kate, are also expected to be front and center. The Trumps will be greeted with full military honors and protected by the largest security operation in Britain since the King's coronation 2 years ago.
We'll prepare a comprehensive security operation for each state visit.
Hundreds of armed police and snipers will be deployed, along with speedboats protecting the water and helicopters in the air. There's going to be a no-fly zone imposed here. Officers are especially concerned about somebody trying to fly a drone over the castle walls and into the grounds. That's because Buckingham Palace says the Trumps will join the royals for a ride in an open carriage, like this one used to host the French president earlier this year. But for security reasons, their carriage ride will be kept inside castle grounds and hidden from the public. The president's schedule mostly keeps him away from London, where large anti-Trump protests are expected tomorrow. But Mr. Trump will visit Winfield House, the U.S. ambassador's residence made famous by the Netflix show The Diplomat.
Welcome to London, Ambassador Wilder.
An unprecedented presidential visit about to begin with full royal pomp and circumstance. And we actually just got word from Buckingham Palace that Queen Camilla is apparently sick. She's canceled her schedule for the rest of the day. Hopefully, she's fully recovered by the time the Trumps arrive here tomorrow. But if she's not, it may mean that Princess Kate is asked to step up and take over some of her duties. We know that the Princess of Wales was actually already scheduled to host the First Lady, Melania Trump, at an event with scouts here later in the week. Savannah.
All right, Ralph, thank you so much. More international news now. President Trump says the U.S. just carried out another deadly strike on a Venezuelan boat allegedly trafficking drugs.
NBC News international correspondent Claudia Lavanga joins us from Rome with details on that and other world news in 60 seconds. Claudia, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning. Well, that's right. On Monday, President Trump said that the U.S. has blown up yet another Venezuelan boat in international waters for the second time in 2 weeks, claiming it was carrying narcotics headed to the U.S. Now, Trump posted a video on his social media platform Truth showing the strike on the boat, but the White House has not yet provided proof that the boat was carrying narcotics. Let's go to Zambia now, where a court has sentenced two men to 2 years in prison for attempting to use witchcraft to kill the country's president. The magistrate said they owned a chameleon's tail, which once pricked and used in a ritual would cause death within 5 days. Despite the insistence that they were just traditional healers, the two were found guilty under the Witchcraft Act. Well, the president is still alive. And let's end this tour of the world in Asia, where experts found the oldest known evidence of mummification. Scientists analyzed remains from China, Vietnam, and Indonesia from up to 14,000 years ago and found that the dead were literally dried out to preserve their bodies. Now, guys, we all know about the mummies from the ancient Egypt, but those were only 4,500 years old. Those are 10,000 years older than that. Quite a discovery. Back to you, Savannah, Joe.
Mummies are just like us, young and old.
Thank you, Claudio.
Yeah. Coming up, job market woes.
Yeah, long-term unemployment is at a post-pandemic high. What that means for job seekers, that's up next. Back now with a closer look at what is making news in the world of politics this morning, starting with another looming government shutdown.
NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor joins us now with more. Sahil, good morning.
Good morning, Savannah and Joe. We begin today in politics with a standoff over a potential government shutdown intensifying ahead of a September 30th deadline. President Trump is telling Republicans to cut Democrats out of negotiations and resolve the issue themselves. But there's a problem. It takes 60 votes to pass a funding bill in the Senate, even a short-term bill. And the GOP only controls 53 seats there. Now, the Republican strategy is to put a bill on the floor and dare Democrats to filibuster it. But Democratic leaders say they won't vote for a partisan measure written by Republicans and that the president and his party will be responsible for a shutdown if they refuse to negotiate. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, the House Oversight Committee has received a second set of documents from the Jeffrey Epstein estate in response to a subpoena. That includes a previously redacted name from the sex offender's 50th birthday book, according to a letter obtained by NBC News. It also includes what the estate described as another of Mr. Epstein's address and contact books. Some names were redacted to protect the identity of victims, but the estate's lawyers say they will make the full unredacted book available for the committee to view. And one issue that is gaining bipartisan support, enhancing security for members of Congress in the wake of the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The top House Democrat, Hakeem Jeffries, told members that leaders are considering doubling the lifetime amount for home security for members up to $20,000 and increasing an allotment for security monitoring, including personal security services, to $5,000 per month. This security money could be included in the larger government funding bill, but the fate of that measure is uncertain and nothing is finalized yet. And that is a look at what's making news in politics this morning. Back to you guys.
All right, Sahil, thanks so much.
The August jobs report that came out earlier this month showed a slowdown in the labor market with just 22,000 jobs added last month. The overall unemployment rate now sits at 4.3%, which is relatively low, but it's a level that has not been seen since September 2017.
And here's a really stunning fact. That figure doesn't account for what is called long-term unemployment rate. It's covering people who have been out of a job for more than 6 months. I mean, look at this number on your screen. It is closer to 26% for the first time in 4 years. Also, there are more unemployed people now in the United States than there are job openings.
For more on this, let's bring in Abba Badarai. She is the Washington Post economics correspondent and recently wrote about long-term unemployment and its impact on both the economy and workers. Good to have you with us, Abba. As we mentioned, the unemployment rate ticked up last month a little. It's now at 4.3%. Walk us through what we should know when it comes to long-term unemployment and how we got here.
That's right. So overall unemployment is still relatively low. And that means if you have a job, your likelihood of losing it is not that high. Firms aren't laying off en masse for the most part. You know, people aren't getting fired at alarming rates. But what has started to be worrisome is that if you don't have a job, it's taking much longer for people to find one. The average job hunt now takes about 6 months. And that's up an entire month from previous, sort of the previous norm. And we're hearing from people who have been out of work for months, who have sent out hundreds and hundreds of applications and have gotten nothing back.
In August, nearly 2 million Americans, that was the number, were in this category, that long-term unemployed. Technically, it means that you're out of work for 27 weeks or more. How big a deal is that, and why is it that that particular amount of time, 27 weeks, is an important benchmark?
It's a really critical juncture. There's research that shows that the longer you're out of work, the harder it is to get another job. And that 6-month mark is when a lot of people have run out of their state unemployment insurance. They've run out of severance if they had any. They're in much more dire financial straits. And also, they're probably starting to feel a little bit discouraged. I mean, it's really demoralizing to send out applications, over and over again and not get anything back. And so there's also a higher risk that those people will be discouraged and drop out of the workforce altogether, which is not what we want for the economy.
What's interesting is for the first time, people with college degrees are being impacted the most by this long-term unemployment. The job posting site Indeed says the portion of job ads requiring a college degree has dropped about 6% since 2019. Why are fewer employers looking for college graduates?
I think there's been an understanding in the last several years that you don't necessarily need a college degree to do a great job. Technical schools are on the rise. There's an understanding that on-the-job experience is really important. But a lot of times, we're seeing even recent college grads are having an extremely hard time breaking into the job market. And so it's been unequivocally difficult for everybody, whether they have a college degree or not at this point.
When the Federal Reserve potentially cuts rates, but there's pretty high confidence that they will this week for the first time since last year, how does that help kind of shift anything in the economy and potentially help job seekers?
So the Federal Reserve has been very focused on inflation and the job market. And until now, inflation has been its biggest concern, especially related to new tariffs. There's been a lot of economic uncertainty out there. But recently, that started to shift. They're starting to say the job market is slowing down in a very significant way, and we might need to look for warning signs there. So if the Fed does indeed lower interest rates tomorrow, like the plan is, it's likely going to be the first in several steps along the way to sort of getting the economy in a good place.
All right, Abba Badarai, thank you so much for joining us. Important conversation.
Definitely, one we're not having enough. Coming up, countdown to Christmas. How retailers are working to get customers excited to shop this holiday season.
That includes Amazon, which has announced its Prime Days just a few weeks away. We're going to let you know when to expect those deals next. Welcome back. The analog photo booth is celebrating its 100-year anniversary, and it's making a comeback. I went to see why today's young people are ditching social media filters and camera phones and striking a pose. On the streets of New York, a new generation is discovering an old friend.
Oh, that one's so cute.
Old Friend is the name of this analog photo booth with a young fan base. So you got a digital phone in your hand. Why do you need a photo booth?
Because those pictures turn out really cool.
Madeline Ruska insisted on spending her 13th birthday here. How did you hear about this photo booth?
TikTok.
Fitting when you consider this revitalized relic is owned by a Gen Z couple.
Hearing people laugh, hearing people smile, there's nothing like it.
Brandon Minton and Zoe Lazarson say on a busy day, wait times for an $8 session can reach an hour.
What does that say that people are willing to wait 30 to 60 minutes for an analog photo?
I think it's special, but I also have no idea why.
No, I know why. People don't get to experience a tangible photo.
And that's why these antiques are growing in popularity, with about 200 now in circulation around the world.
Everything makes a comeback.
Brianna Conley-Saxon is actually opening a photo booth gallery and museum in Manhattan called Auto Photo.
What do you hope they get out of it?
A photo to document a memory that they'll never forget.
She also wants visitors to understand this is truly a labor of love.
It's just been a lot of hard work, and I'm just really excited about everybody to see it and experience it.
Museum celebrates exactly 100 years since a man named Anatole Josepho invented the technology. Conley-Saxon recently organized a convention in honor of that anniversary, giving enthusiasts a sneak peek at the museum's photo booths, which are decades old.
These days, a lot of analog photo booths are inside bars, which means not everyone can access them. But here at Auto Photo, anyone can flash a smile and get a strip of pics.
These aging icons are not easy to keep running. Each one houses what's basically a mini darkroom that uses a chemical developing process and rare paper.
How hard are these to maintain?
They're very hard. They require a lot of love and a lot of patience. And
a lot of maintenance.
A lot of maintenance. Constant life of fixing and maintaining these things.
It's worth it?
Yeah.
To them, this is more than a snapshot. It's a century-long tradition that's still developing.
And what's cool is Auto Photo, that museum I mentioned, it's still tweaking a few things. They did a soft open with a convention that actually took place a couple weeks ago for people who love analog photo booths. But Auto Photo should open the next few weeks. You can check their website and their social media to see when it opens. It's really cool. They've got several old photo booths from different decades, different generations. One takes color photos.
Wow.
So it's something that enthusiasts are really going to be into.
I just really can't believe that the technology is 100 years old.
I know. It's unbelievable. It was the first selfie, and there you go. And there's something just about, there's many digital ones out there, but there's something special.
Is that your go-to?
The analog
move
ones.
in a photo
It's
booth,
a family
Joe?
photo. It's called the Birdman. Yeah. It's a family tradition.
Love it. All right, let's get a check now at what is making headlines on Wall Street this morning. Apple is facing some delays ahead of a highly anticipated software release. CNBC's Silvana now has more on that and some other money news for us. Hi, Silvana.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. Yeah, so Apple was expected to launch digital IDs with the rollout of iOS 26 this week, but the new feature is being delayed, and that'll be to a future software update. Now, this will let you create a digital ID with your U.S. passport and store it in the Wallet app, allowing you to pass right through TSA checkpoints. Apple says the digital ID is secure and it's compliant with Real ID. PayPal is introducing a new way for people to send money through peer-to-peer payments via personalized one-time links. So it complements an existing feature called PayPal Me, which allows you to share your profile information and make it easier to be found and get paid. So this new PayPal links, it allows customers to either request or make payments to another person by selecting the link option, entering the amount, and then copying the link into a conversation. PayPal links will also be able to support crypto payments. And Amazon announcing the fall Prime Day sale will happen October 7th and 8th. Now, this is shorter than the extended 4-day sale back in July, but the event does jumpstart the holiday shopping season. Now, Amazon is already offering early deals for Prime members starting today with savings of up to 50% off select devices, including the Fire HD Kids Pro tablet, guys.
All right, Silvana, thank you so much. Can't believe it's almost time for that. All right, Christmas may still be months away, but the countdown is underway. There are just 100 days until the holiday. And even though we are barely into pumpkin spice latte season, retailers are already rolling out the Christmas cheer because they're pushing big sales. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung, our little Santa, he joins us now.
Just hear those sleigh bells ringing.
I'm so happy you're wearing that, Brian. It really is making my morning. Good morning.
Look, getting the season, right? I know that the weather, it's hardly frightful, and most fireplaces aren't yet
delightful. But retailers are already enticing shoppers with the idea of decking the halls in September. But with tariffs looming, some are saying it might not be the worst idea to start spreading that cheer early this year. It's 100 days until the arrival of St. Nick.
Santa here? I know him. I know him.
And as some question if it's too early to get in the Christmas spirit.
When is it acceptable to put up your Christmas decorations?
Some shoppers are saying they're getting a head start.
Just got in these brand new Target Christmas decors.
Retailers are already putting Christmas decor on display.
They have some great home wall decor.
And telling shoppers they can start crossing gifts off their list now. As Best Buy promises flash sales at the end of this month, while Target promises thousands of gifts starting at $5, including pop culture exclusives. And Amazon teases its top 100 gifts list, and Deal Days, which the company announced today, will be on October 7 and 8. Retailers are also leaning into exclusive merchandise, as Walmart flaunts toys ranging from Disney princess dolls and Lego sets that the company says won't be available anywhere else. But looming over all the holiday sales, potential price bumps from the tariffs.
Consumers are starting earlier, and retailers are having their shipments coming in earlier to avoid any price hikes.
Buy your Christmas presents now. Tariffs are going up.
The tariffs don't appear to be impacting inventory. Target says its assortment of holiday products will be twice as large as last year, as Best Buy says it's got 10 times as many products on hand. But experts say getting a jump on your holiday shopping list could still prove helpful.
For people that are seeing all these deals already 100 days out from Christmas, should they buy now or should they wait until we get closer to Black Friday?
They should definitely start buying now, because shopping early isn't panic. This is power. This is going to give you more control over your budget, your timeline, and of course, your peace of mind.
Okay, so Brian, I know a lot of people are probably like, oh God, it's too early. My Halloween's not even up. It's only September. And I feel that, but I'm happy for Christmas season to kind of be like background noise all the time. Personally, I think that we're in agreement on that, which I really appreciate about you.
We are.
I love that you brought that hat. But does this really mean something good for retailers when they start selling this stuff so early? Does it help them make more money?
Yeah, well, look, I think that when it comes to getting in the spirit, people like you and me, like, we are already in the spirit, even though it's only in the middle of September. And for that reason, you have a lot of these companies that are saying, hey, why don't you just start your holiday shopping early anyway? If for nothing, it's just for peace of mind. And in fact, there was a survey from Retail Me Not. They surveyed about 1,000 people. They said that more than half of those shoppers said they were planning to start their holiday shopping before November even begins. 11% are waiting for Black Friday. So again, there's a little bit of that trade-off. The better deals might be Black Friday, but people are just feeling festive already right now, you know?
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, I'll get you a hat for next one.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Brian. Thank you, that was fun. Coming up, hitting the road together, how military veterans are finding community and keeping traditions alive through their shared love of motorcycles. That is up next. Finally, this hour, hundreds of thousands of riders gathered in South Dakota last month for the annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Well, among them were many military veterans, and that is keeping a tradition alive that dates back to the end of World War II. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock has more.
On a cruise through the back roads of New Jersey, this group of veterans is bonded by service, camaraderie, and above all, their love of motorcycles. Though the culture connecting them now actually traces back 3/4 of a century.
American motorcycle dispatch riders train on courses just as difficult as they will find soon in action.
When motorcycles were potent tools on the battlefields of World War II. Harley-Davidson, that iconic American brand, the top wartime manufacturer, supplied more than 50,000 bikes. The war ended in 1945, those same wheels flooded the U.S. market, shaping American motorcycle culture as we know it.
All these surviving motorcycles were sold very, very cheaply. So a lot of soldiers immediately after the war got on wheels.
The motorbike became an enduring symbol of post-war America, shown on the big screen in movies like The Wild One and Easy Rider.
You had a certain group of people with a shared traumatic experience of war. And consciously or unconsciously, they sought each other out.
80 years on, and veterans of newer wars are still drawn to that alluring mix of excitement and brotherhood.
Why do you love motorcycle culture so much?
Just like the freedom. Getting out there, jumping on my bike, just cruising.
The American Legion Riders has more than 100,000 members nationwide, uniting veterans with a shared sense of community.
If we get somebody in and he has PTSD or, problems, disabled, shell shock, whatever it is, they can come to us.
We call it wind therapy, just being out and riding. Whatever's going on at home can't affect you.
For Al Glasso, it's a full circle moment.
Your father,
My dad.
served in World War II.
Yes.
What does it mean to you to be a member of the American Legion Riders?
It's priceless.
Having never ridden a bike before, the seasoned group offered to give me a hands-on demonstration.
Fired up. Fired up.
With wind in your hair, an ode to generations of sacrifice.
Do you see a connection between World War II and where we are today with that?
Absolutely. It's just a common thread, that allows us to connect and get together. The bike's changed a little bit, but they're still Harley Davidsons and they're still rolling.
It's a legacy forged in the fires of World War II, still burning brightly today, out on the open road. Sam Brock, NBC News, Wayne, New Jersey.
Oh, what an awesome look. Thank you, Sam. That does it for this hour of Morning News Now. Stay with us. The news continues right now.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.